And it is November, so that means we are getting ready for playoff football here at Bobby Lackey Stadium. Weslaco East taking on Harlingen South. Hello, everybody. Carlos Roberto, along with Mike Gonzalez for the Miriam Guerra Allstate Insurance pregame show. And that's right, Mike. It is November, so that means every game is important tonight. Weslaco East, they are in here 3-2 on the district season. Harlingen South 0-5. So that means every game from here on out is important. Isn't that right, Mike?
Exactly, Carlos. I mean, and we know that the Hogs have had a little rough time this year, going 1-7, 0-5 in district. But however, these games are very, very important. Playoff implications on the line.
Yeah, so why is it so important? Let's take a look at the standings in 32-6A, because we have 4 teams, or there's actually 5 teams trying to get 4 spots right here. You got San Benito right there at the very top. They are the cream of the crop. Not only in 32-6A, maybe across the Rio Grande Valley. They are undefeated on the season, undefeated in district play as well. They have Weslaco High tonight at San Benito, and then, of course, they end the season against the Harlingen Cardinals. Hannah, they play the Cardinals tonight. That's going to be a very important game, and we'll tell you why here in a little bit. Then they end the season. The Hannah Eagles been the surprise team of 32-6A with only 1 district loss. They play the Wildcats in the final game of the season. Then you have Los Fresnos. They got a pretty easy schedule here to end the season versus Rivera and Weslaco High. And then you got Weslaco East, that's right, tonight against Harlingen South and then against Hannah. And there we go, the Harlingen Cardinals at 3-2 on the season. They play Hannah tonight, and then they will be playing the Greyhounds to end the season. We talked a little bit about that, but the Cardinals, it could be tough for them. The scenarios that we're looking at for tonight, it is Weslaco East, an opportunity to make the playoffs for the 11th straight year. Here's what has to happen. Okay, Weslaco East needs to win tonight. They need to take care of business against Harlingen South, the team that is 0-5 in district play, and then we need Hannah. The Hannah Eagles need to beat Harlingen. If that takes place, then the Wildcats are in the playoffs.
That's correct, Carlos. For the 11th year in a row, that could happen. And the reason being, Carlos, is because the Wildcats have the tiebreakers over the Falcons with the big win a few weeks ago, and Harlingen. And so even if there is a tie at the end of the season, the tiebreaker goes to them, and the Wildcats will be in the playoffs.
Yeah, remember last year at this time of the season, you know, the 32-6A was the meat grinder district, and Weslaco East is coming off some bad losses. They needed to win out the last 3 games of the season in order to make the playoffs. Well, they beat Harlingen, and that has just helped them so much more breathe a little bit easier here in the latter part of the season. That game against Harlingen is still very big for the Wildcats.
Because coming into that night, Carlos, maybe a lot of people thought, oh my, this is probably the end of the year with the injuries they've gone through, all the you know, they had a struggle, and they overcame that, and they came up with a huge upset, and then here they are tonight.
Yeah, they were upset, and then they had a big upset against Harlingen. All right, so how did we get here? Yeah, how did we get here? We talked about that last week. We talked a little about Richard Lefevre, but also that offense has continued to churn away some big yards, and a big reason is because they've had some up-and-comers, some sophomores who have filled those shoes. Here's a look at Mike Gonzalez, who put together a story. He was at Weslaco East practice today, or this week. Here's what he found out.
And he is going to go in for the touchdown.
Running back Derek Ibarra and fullback Randy Cardosa have been a force in the Weslaco East backfield, helping the team stay in the thick of the playoff picture despite some key injuries.
Just gotta step up on the plate, just do my job.
Cardosa has been a nice asset, primarily used as a lead blocker, playing the fullback position. His muscle opens holes for teammates on the hard-nosed powered ground game. As you can see here against Rivera, Cardosa can be a threat with the football as a receiver.
Just go up there, just try to do my best, try to perform.
To me, he's an offensive guard. He blocks anything from the inside linebacker to the defensive end. Sometimes the defensive tackles when we miss them to the secondary.
Going left to right here.
Running right behind him is Ibarra, a senior with quick speed and great reads. He lacked varsity experience, but ever since he became the featured back, Ibarra has rolled to 276 yards and 4 touchdowns in 3 games.
And he is going to go in.
It was really crazy, you know. Practice, I had every rep I was in, trying to learn, memorize the plays.
He's tough for as small as he is. He's got some quicks. He can take it to the house anytime. So he's getting his feet under him, and he's having a lot of fun.
Those guys look so young. Talking to them, they look like young kids that are out there in the field, compared, of course, to JC and Roy.
Yeah, and what I really like, Carlos, is that Coach Burgett, I think, nailed it when he says these guys are just out there having fun. I mean, because they lack experience. I mean, Derek Ibarra might be a senior, but he wasn't a starter. He's been thrown into the line of fire. And then you have Randy Cardorza, who's only a sophomore. He was a kid that perhaps was going to come in next year and perhaps make a contribution, but instead they kind of throw him in the line of fire, and look what they're doing. They're having a great time, and they're making plays. And check this out, Carlos. I did a little bit of research this morning. Before the injuries occurred, the Wildcat offense were averaging 404 yards per game. But since those 3 games, they've been averaging 394 yards. So it's only 10 yards lost there. What does that mean? That means that the Wildcat offense is still coming through and doing the job.
Yeah, they haven't lost a step at all. Let's take a look at who's been stepping it up a little bit more in depth, because we know about those 2 individuals you were talking about, Derek Ibarra, Ramsey Vasquez, and, also talked, about Cardoza. But take a look there. Derek Ibarra, this is just the last 3 games, 43 carries for 276 yards. Vasquez, 10 receptions for 122 yards. He is, they like to throw the ball to him. And then Hector Sainz, 6 receptions for 132 yards. And then Jaime Banuelos, he plays both ways. He's kind of filled in big time for Ciro Rojas with 4 receptions for 121 yards. And then, of course, you can't stop talking about the defense. Remember, they had 8 returners back from a year ago. The top tackler, Freddie Cardenas, he's been doing his thing with 90 tackles. And Gerald Garza for the season, he's the sack leader with 6 sacks.
Exactly, Carlos. And, those are guys that came back from last year making a big-time contribution, have not disappointed. If anything, they've elevated their play because of the injuries. The defense looks great, but other guys we want to mention is Mike Gonzalez, 71 tackles. Jacob Bando at 56. Jacob Bando also has 5 sacks, Carlos.
And you got to give a lot of credit. We talk about these young players, but you got to really give a lot of credit to the coaching staff. When you have those hosses, when you got JC, and then, of course, you got Roy and Richard Lefevre, you got the big 3, it's a little bit easier to coach, but sometimes you're going to have to step up your game. And the Wildcat, that, coaching staff, they've done a tremendous job with these young pups stepping in. They have certainly coached them up.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, Carlos. And, when we have Coach Burgett here in the post-game show, he always gives credit to his coaching staff because he's absolutely right. When you have guys like Coach Mike Brown, Otway Perryman, Coach Trevino, you have guys that have been in the business for so many years, and Coach Rene Guzman, Goose, has been around for so many years, and they have the camaraderie to work together. They know what it takes, and what I like is that they know how to reach out to the players, and the players do such a good job of listening to their coaches and just execute the game plan, and it's worked out really well.
10 straight years to the playoffs. I think this is going to be their 11th straight year.
All
right, other big games to watch across the Rio Grande Valley. We're almost at the end of the season. This is week 10? Only one more week left before the regular season is over. And Vela last night, wow, what a big game for them. They beat PSG 70-22, and now Vela has the inside track to the district championship. Why is that important to us, Mike?
It's huge, Carlos, because there's a chance that if Edinburgh Vela ends up with the number 1 seed, Division 2, chances are Weslaco East will play them in a rematch of last year's bi-district championship. This time it would be at Bobby Lackey Stadium.
That's right. They'll be playing right here at Bobby Lackey Stadium in the bi-district round of the playoffs. Hannah taking on Harlingen. It's going to be at Harlingen, and this could be the first time, they're saying, in 20 years that Harlingen will not make the playoffs if they lose tonight?
Yeah, we're talking about the Harlingen Cardinals, the traditional power, probably holds the Valley banner every year in and year out. And another thing, Carlos, it's been about 17, 18 years since they've lost 3 in a row. Yeah. So that's just, they're in uncharted territory. However, they've been in 2-game losing streaks before. They've always come up with a win. However, they have their hands full with the Hannah Golden Eagles, who are having an outstanding year.
My prediction tonight, Harlingen wins. And makes it very interesting for that final week of the season.
Right.
Edinburgh at PSG Memorial. Why is this game important for us, Mike? Another one that could have playoff implications.
Exactly, because PSG Memorial was a team that maybe not a lot of people talked about on paper, probably had them second to the last place, but they're still alive in the playoff spot. And if they're able to get in, they may go in as a Division II school, which means they may play the Wildcats. If the Wildcats get that top seed Division II spot, Edinburgh Bobcats, I believe they're in 3rd place coming into tonight, 3-2 record. So it's also a huge game for them as well for a playoff spot.
All right, so we'll have some of those scores for you tonight. Of course, we'll have a post-game analysis, and we'll also have highlights of this game right here on the post-game show, the Mirangeta Allstate Insurance post-game show. So tune in right here after the game. All right, well, believe it or not, basketball season is right around the corner. Remember what happened last year with Weslaco East and the basketball? Yeah, here they are right here. And when it is a PSJA North taking on Weslaco East. Weslaco East was like, what, the third round or the third seed of the playoffs. And the Wildcats upset PSG North. That game took place at home, and they were the by-district champions. That's right, Weslaco East, the Wildcats were by-district champions the first time in many years. Jorge Martinez, the head coach of the Wildcats, is hoping to do it again. And in fact, Mike Gonzalez has a couple of special guests here on the Miriam-Guerra Allstate Insurance pregame show. So let's send it over to Mike Gonzalez.
All right, thank you very much, Carlos. I'm standing with two of the guys that are expected to make big-time contributions to the team this year. Guys, give us your name and position.
Gabriel Rivera, small forward.
Mark Medrano, guard.
All right, guys, you guys are off a big-time season last year where you won a playoff game for the first time in quite a while under third-year head coach Jorge Martinez, now entering his fourth season. And, I mean, just talk about now this season, a year later, what are the expectations now?
To keep up the streak, to make sure we get that playoff streak going and get these new youngins and the speed of varsity, you know.
All right, I understand you guys have your first game. Is it this week or next week?
This week, actually tomorrow.
Is it a scrimmage or is it a game?
It's a scrimmage, and we're going to work and see what we can do and go on from there, see what we need to work on. And every little thing, coach is picnicking right now because we're young and we need to get ready to get the season going.
And who is it going to be against? And, I mean, what do you guys hope to get out of tomorrow's scrimmage?
Tomorrow's scrimmage is going to be against Laredo Nixon, and we hope to get as much experience for these young players and to keep up the East basketball streak.
And, I mean, you guys have done this in a really competitive district. And, I mean, 32-6A, not only in football, but in basketball, it's very competitive. And, I mean, so what do you look forward to this year coming back and making a push for not only a playoff, but perhaps a district championship, you think?
Man, we're really close. Every game we're going to go give everything we have and push and run the ball, everything.
All right. Well, the Wildcats are expected to do great things in 2017, 2018. But Carlos Robledo, let's send it to you now with the girls.
That's right. We have the Lady Wildcats that are here on the set to talk a little bit about the basketball season because, the guys, they've been playing. But you guys started already, right? You started with practice already, and have y'all had any scrimmages or anything like that yet?
Yes, we had a scrimmage this past weekend, and tomorrow we have another one.
Jeanette Morales right here. She is a senior for the Lady Wildcats. Caitlin Rodriguez, a junior on this team. How is the team looking? I know y'all missed the playoffs last year, but how are things looking? Jeanette, you tell me first.
I think they're looking pretty good. We have a lot of young people, but I think that's going to help us a lot. And as they get more experience, it'll help out the team.
Caitlin, I know you all play a lot of summer basketball, and that really helps you guys kind of gel as a team. I know you all lost a couple of seniors. How was it during the summer leagues?
Knowing that we lost a couple of seniors just made us work harder during the summer, knowing that we have to become united again. Having underclassmen come up and fill spots, it's been a good ride. Summer was good for us.
Yeah, I know you're a junior. You got to play last year as a sophomore. Jeanette, tell me a little bit about the chemistry. That is always so important. You only got 5 girls that get to play at a time. What is the chemistry like with the team? Is it good this year?
I think the chemistry is very good, and most of the time we're always together.
Awesome.
And we've gotten really close over the summer, and I think that'll help out a lot.
All right. What is Coach Cromer telling you guys, Caitlin? He always has words of wisdom. He's always trying to motivate his players. What has Coach Chris Cromer told you guys about this year?
He's expecting a lot from us. He's expecting the young girls to step up, knowing that they're going from a freshman level to a varsity level, or even a JV level to a varsity level. It's a lot different, a lot faster. You gotta prepare yourself for games, and he just always tells us to be positive and to pick each other up, and that's pretty much it.
Tell me a little bit about the district. I know it's always tough. The Lady Panthers, they're in that 32-6A, Los Fresnos, Harlingen South, Harlingen. Who are the top teams to look out for besides the Wildcats, the Lady Wildcats?
I'd probably say High and San Benito.
San Benito, yeah, they look good.
And Harlingen.
All right, so do they have a lot of height? Do y'all have height? I only have you 2 girls out here, so I haven't had a chance to see the team. So you guys are going to rely more on the shooting this year. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
All right. So if the boys were, because you guys play a lot of basketball, and you get an opportunity to play against the boys sometime, Do y'all ever think that you could beat the boys at a competition? You know, I know, yeah, they might be a little bit taller, a little bit more athletic because, you know, but what about like a free throw shooting contest? Do you think you could beat them?
Yes, I think so.
You think so? Jeanette, you think so?
Yes.
Well, let's try it then. Let's try a free throw shooting contest right now. Mike, take us down to the floor and let's see what we got. I'll bring the girls. You can leave those microphones right there. And we are going to do this. We're going to do a free throw shooting contest between the girls and the boys. Lady Wildcats against the Wildcats. And so this is going to work. Let's go ahead. Hold on. We'll start off with the boys here. They're going to get to shoot 4 each. You'll shoot 4. You shoot 4. Then the girls in the back will shoot 4 as well. And then we'll figure out who is the winner, right, Mike?
Yeah, we're going to do a playground style here. We're only with mini basketballs here because there's a win factor going on here, kind of like golf a little bit here, so it's mind over matter here. Let's see who wins.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. I guess I'll move right here. All right, go for it. Let's go. Let's see what you got. There's number 1. Oh, made 1.
Oh,
1. You got 2 more to shoot. Okay, all right.
Let's rotate here, and here we go.
Playing the win, 2 in.
What was that, 2?
3 in. All right. Oh, these guys are doing pretty good.
Shoot.
Not too bad.
These guys can shoot.
That's 4. Or 3 in, 4 in.
All right. So the
4
boys
out of
got
8
4
so far, or 4 out of 6. 2 more shots.
5.
Another good one.
6.
6.
Oh,
6 out
boy.
of 8. Only 2 misses. All right, now we'll get the girls. All right, come on, let's get on the basketballs over here. Thank you very much.
I saw them in
Daniel.
warm-ups, Carlos, and they looked great. They were hitting them.
All right,
There you
Jeanette,
go,
1. All right.
1 out of 2 so far.
Caitlin. All right, Caitlin just goes. She doesn't even have to concentrate or anything. So you made what, 2? How many is that?
2 in a row. I believe that's 4.
I think that's 5 already.
Is it 5? Oh, okay, 5.
6. Got to play the win. All right, here, the last 2 right here.
No
they
pressure.
Made what, 6?
Boys made 6, right?
They made 6.
So
I think
6.
they actually only made 2 so far. I was trying to give them a few extra. All right, let's go, Jeanette. Let's finish up strong. Finish up strong. 1.
Good job.
There we go. Congratulations, girls. Congratulations on your season. I know Aizen haven't started yet. Why am I saying congratulations, right? But good luck on your season. Good luck on your season. Guys, good luck on your season. Enjoy the football game tonight. Good luck with your basketball. I know that y'all have some scrimmages coming up. Mike, let's go ahead and we'll turn around right here, Mike. We're going to say goodbye.
All right.
The camera right behind you.
There it is.
We will see you guys after the football game tonight on the Miriam Get Up post-game show. Good luck to the Wildcat basketball team, and good luck to the Wildcats football team as they take on Harlingen South. For Mike Gonzalez, Carlos Subeto, the Lady Wildcats and the Wildcats, good afternoon, everybody.